What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a ton of Blossom ambassadors. Well, there's about how many of us here? There's 6 of us, not including me. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming on. I thought it would be a fun idea today to kind of highlight some of the stocks we've been personally liking and adding to our own portfolios. Obviously, this is all available on Blossom. If you're not already there, search up in the App Store. There's a link down below. But yeah, why don't we go through one by one and just kind of share what maybe our most recent trade was. A little bit of context as to why. I'm sure my audience knows all of you guys, but just in case, as you go through, feel free to introduce yourself. But yeah, should we get started? I guess maybe before we get started, a little bit of suspense. I saw most of you guys at the events across Calgary, Toronto, and Montreal. How was it? I thought it was just the most awesome thing ever.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was so cool because for most of you guys, I haven't met you personally, so it was really nice to be in the same room and share our thoughts and ideas. And as you all probably can attest to, the people that attended were just awesome. It was so inspirational.
Oh yeah,
the vibes and the vibes at the venues are just amazing, and everyone's so friendly and appreciative. Oh, Joey just came in, so yeah. Hey Joey, what's going on? And I think Cass, by the way, is coming in as well. Joey, we are live and recording this, FYI, so welcome. Let's go. Cass was having some technical issues, but we were just saying how much we enjoyed the events, and I really liked hanging with everyone, all of you guys behind the scenes too. There's the events part, and then there's the behind the scenes. To me, that was actually one of my.
I struggled keeping up with you youngins, but I tried my best.
You did good. You did good, Dad. Yeah. Well, why don't we kick things off here? I guess. Should I start, or does anyone want to kick it off? Dad, do you want to start? I'll start. Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, up on the screen, what you guys are looking at is my most recent purchase. And the company that I bought actually just this week was Brookfield Corp. So, followers of the channel have heard Mark and I talk about this company for years now, even prior to the split. But this is one of my favorite positions overall. The ticker that we're looking here is BN.TO. You will find 2 of them. There's BAM.TO and BN. I opted for BN today. You guys kind of know the background with Brookfield already, but this is just one of the massive companies here in Canada. An alternative asset manager is kind of the way I like to look at them. They've managed $825 billion plus of AUM and growing. Daniel and I were joking about, prior to getting onto this live, is just saying this company's just a beast. They are just a beast in all regards. It's probably not the best way to describe it, but they do so many things. They're in so many areas. Such a powerful manager of money. They actually just reported earnings today. I think they're up 5%. But yeah, this company has boasted a pretty strong history of outperformance, and they're targeting essentially like 15% compound annual returns for their shareholders. That said, they have been struggling as of recent. So, up on the screen, what you're looking at is their share price, and they've clearly come down about 35% off highs. I do think we're coming to a nice support level. Again, a nice earnings report that haven't entirely dove into yet today, but I will after this call. I'm seeing a 17% discount on Morningstar, and it's just one of those ones where I'm going to continue to build up my position. I'm down about 10% on this position, as you'll see on Blossom, and that's totally okay. When I'm building, I do own it in my other accounts as well, but when I'm building into positions, I'm totally okay with being down 10, 15%. Just gives me a chance to go in and buy more at such levels. But yeah, that was my first pick, my most recent trade, and yeah, I'm happy to kick it off with that.
Well, seeing as how I'm next on the screen, at least what I'm looking at here, I'll go next. And yeah, I think you mentioned, Brandon, the most recent trades. And my most recent trades have been sells, actually. So I haven't bought anything for a little while. So a little bit of context there. So the 2 most recent trades I made, I trimmed my positions in both Apple and Microsoft. And yeah, so the logic behind that was, first of all, I love the companies I still own. In fact, I think they're still my 2 largest positions, but marginally now. Whereas, a few weeks ago, they were significantly higher in weighting. And just I generally, what I do is I set a 5% flag. So if any individual position is 5% or more of the portfolio, I start watching it very carefully. And these had both risen to sort of in the 8-9% range, maybe even a little bit closer to 10. And so when I started just looking at just general portfolio management, I got to the point, they've both done so well lately, and I think the markets are a little bit frothy, especially the tech space and they've contributed so much to the rise, for example, in the S&P. So I just went in and I just said, gee, as much as I love these companies, I have to stick to my discipline. So I trimmed those positions from that 8-9% range down to in the 5.5-6% range, something like that. So nothing against the companies at all. Still love them, but I just have to stick to my plan, stick to my discipline. And so nothing exciting on the buy side, but that's my most recent trades are actually trimming and just consolidating. So right now that money's still sitting in cash, so I got to do something with it.
I feel like that's telling. You got a bunch of young kids over here who are probably all buying the stocks, and then we have you over here, the person selling all the stocks.
I think my risk profile is a little bit lower than you guys, probably.
Wait, Mark, why don't you tell them what crypto coin you're buying right now?
Oh man, I am all over Doge. I'm just kidding. Full disclaimer, that's not true.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, but no, that's maybe Robin, feel free to kick it off. But yeah, that makes sense, Dan. And too, I forgot to mention, like the tech sector, especially in the States, has done well. I mean, as you said, that's why your positions have grown to where they are. And for me, that's kind of why I was looking more to the Canadian market, why I opted for Brookfield. But you just reminded me as you said that. But yeah, Robin, what's going on?
Yeah, so the stock that I bought actually just a couple of days ago was actually Dollarama. So I've been building a Canadian-based dividend growth fund in my RSP on the channel, and a big challenge for me was to basically make it all Canadian stocks. And I'm more of an ETF guy myself, so this was a cool experience. And Dollarama is a great consumer defensive stock that I've kind of been eyeballing for a little while. The company's been growing pretty good, like the past couple of years. It's been rocketing up, so we've seen tons of growth. The company has done really good earnings reports. And yeah, it's a big brand. I think a lot of people are familiar with the stock, and it's been one I've been watching for a while, and I'm actually surprised I haven't bought it sooner. The only thing I did notice about the stock is it does have a little bit of debt, but they're fairly conservative. They have that low dividend yield. They have tons of money, so if they have, and with their earnings, increasing regularly, I think they're in a pretty good position. So yeah, that's the stock I bought, and we're going with that one.
Nice. There was I don't know if you saw that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was helping you out, Robin. I was in Dollarama just recently. So.
Oh yeah, I know.
Everyone I can help you.
I don't remember the last time I've been inside of a Dollarama, but
everywhere.
I was saying I did a video, Robin, like about a week ago about like ranking all these TSX stocks, and like my audience went crazy when Dollarama came up because it wasn't a stock that I really followed too closely, and I saw the share price. And I'm like, holy, thing's on fire!
Get talked
like it's
about
just
that much, surprisingly.
It's just. It doesn't. It wasn't there. I've heard about it obviously over the years, but never closely on my radar. And then when I was ranking them, my audience was saying like this is an A, possibly even an S tier company in Canada, so very highly looked at across the board. So really nice pickup there for you. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
BD.
Yes, sir. All right.
Hey,
guys,
BD. Before you tell us the stock, I want to know what you sold because you got a pretty good crib there. You must take some pretty good profits on something.
Hey man, I've been preaching about Dogecoin. This is what you get when you buy Dogecoin. No, just a green screen, guys. Just a green screen. Yeah. So, guys, the stock I've been buying was Visa. I've been building up this position, and this is the CAD hedge version, meaning it's in Canadian dollars, CDRs. And the main reason why I decided to invest in Visa was American credit card debt just hit $1 trillion, which is just outrageous, right? And I don't think it's going to slow down, especially with we're seeing higher interest rates. So people are putting their money towards their mortgage and rent, and then they're using their credit card to purchase their necessities like groceries, gas, and I don't think that's going to slow down anytime soon. And the reason why I chose Visa specifically was it's one of the main credit card giants in the world. It's the leading. It's bigger than MasterCard, bigger than American Express. The total transaction volume I have here for Visa is 3.8 trillion in Q2, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Daniel and Stock Unlock here. So it has a 4.15 out of 5 Stock Unlock Insight score, which is considered very good on their scale. Yeah, so that's considered very good on their scale. And now I'm just gonna look at the profit margins over here. It has 80% gross margins, 67 operating margins, and a 51% net margin, which is just a beast of a company, and it's considered a money-making machine. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided to put my money towards Visa. I'm currently up 1%, and like Brandon said, I don't mind building my position. I like keeping it low right now. It's a small position in my portfolio, and I'm trying to make it to around 3% of my portfolio. So that's what it is.
Let's go. That's one of my favorite holds as well. The Visa, like
keeping
sword.
Keeping with the theme, Bilal, I just sent about $5,500 to Visa this morning. So
oh, look at you, man, helping us out here.
Jeez, I want to know what everybody else is picking here.
You sent money to Visa, or that was
because I used it over
Visa
the last
card. Yeah.
Mark's increasing the transaction volume here for me.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I probably did too today at some point. Too cool, man. Too cool, Bilal. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Zach, what's going on?
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for having me on the video. For me, I picked up actually 2 ETFs when we were out at the Blossom events. We got to meet some of the ETF providers, and I actually got to speak with the guys that run the ETFs and make the trades. So that was really cool. One of the guys that I spoke with was from Hamilton ETFs. So I dove into what they were doing. And I have a little portion of my kind of major portfolio that I've carved out that's going to be specifically for income. And so I put 2 of their income generating ETFs into that little portion of it. I picked up HYLD and HDIV. These are both covered call ETFs. One is focused on the S&P 500 in the US. One is focused on the TSX here in Canada. So I got a little bit of diversification there, and they're both putting up a yield over 10% right now. So I've got that in the income portfolio with a high interest savings ETF, and the whole thing altogether is yielding about 8% together. So pretty happy with it. I like them just kind of long-term monthly income. It's a small portion of my portfolio that as I get closer to retirement, I want to kind of build out so that when I get to retirement, I've got that monthly income kind of ready to go. So that's the overall strategy with that one. The only downside to these ETFs is they have a little bit higher management fee because they are kind of actively managed and they are going through a covered call strategy. But that's also how you get that higher yield. So that's sort of what I've been putting my money into, and I'm sharing all of that on Blossom. And I got to meet the guys that are running the ETFs. So that was so cool.
Nice.
That is cool. Yeah, it was my first time meeting them as well, and those guys are awesome guys. And like, yeah, too cool, man. Thanks for sharing. And I think like what you married up there, the Canadian one and the US one, that's such a popular combination. You basically got like your bases covered for all of North America. It's like those 2 funds are very, very. What's the word I'm looking for?
Complementary.
Complementary. Yes,
that's the word. Yeah.
Word. Yes. Yes, that was the word. Nice. No, really nice pickups there, Zach. Daniel, before we get to you, I'm going to just quickly say, speaking of Blossom, we are also going to be at the Money Show. So a lot of these guys that you're on screen very well may be there. There's actually there's a keynote speaking event where I think it's myself, Mark, Adrian, Canadian T-shirt, Max from Blossom, as well as Shay. We're going to be actually on the main stage. We're also going to be having all sorts of smaller panels throughout the event. So it's a 2-day event, completely free to attend. That's next month in Toronto. And below this video, there will be a link down below for you guys to do that. Mark and I went last year to the Money Show. It was such a blast. And when we got invited back out again, we're like, you know what? Let's make this even more fun and invite all the ambassadors out and have it like on the trade floor. There's like booths and everything. So you get to see like all these ETF providers have their booths. Blossom have a booth. And if you want to meet some of the guys that you're seeing on the screen and more of the Blossom ambassadors, we're going to be there hanging around for the day, the 2 days. And it's completely free to attend. So if you're in the Toronto area or consider flying in or something, there will be a link down below, guys. So quickly go check that out. But yeah, Daniel, what's going on? And I think it's not the first time you've been on our channel, is it, Daniel?
I think it might be. I think it actually might be. So thank you for having me on.
Finally,
let's go.
Let's go.
I appreciate it. But yeah, as I posted on Blossom, I was buying Fortinet this past week. So they reported their earnings, and the stock, I believe, dropped something like 25% after the report, which I thought was kind of an overreaction. So I like to take a look at the fundamentals and kind of the price ratios going on whenever I buy a stock. And Fortinet, after it fell, was trading for a price to free cash flow of only 22, which is well below its historical averages of 27. It's about a 15 to 20% discount there. And then additionally, its free cash flow yield was around 4.2%, which actually got above bonds. And whenever the free cash flow yield gets above bonds, I start to get very interested, especially on these high growth stocks. So it just kind of looked like an opportunity there to me as well. And the company is still growing its free cash flow by something like 20% per year. So I think that the market overreacted because they lowered their guidance slightly. But overall, the company's still growing. I thought that it was trading for a very attractive price, even relative to bonds. So I used it as an opportunity to pick some up.
Very nice.
Swoop in after the drum. I like that. And I think
Yeah.
for my audience who's not familiar, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a cybersecurity company, Daniel?
Yeah, they mainly provide firewalls.
Firewalls. Okay, yeah, because as I was doing my research on Palo Alto a number of months back, I remember Fortinet coming up as a competitor, if you will. And yeah, I remember looking into that briefly, but not as deeply as I'm sure you have. But really cool pickup, man. Hopefully that works out. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lastly, Joey, well, hey, yeah, well, thanks for joining us. Popping in. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, Money Show. I'm going to be there. It's literally the day of my birthday, September 9th. So,
Let's
you guys,
go.
like, everyone has to come.
Nice.
Your birthday gift.
Yeah,
bring
we'll have
the
a
cake
group
so
song.
We'll all celebrate. And by the way, Joey, congrats on what are your numbers at right now for your socials? I think I just saw some pretty big.
Oh my gosh. 40K on Instagram.
Let's
And I
go.
think, like 97 on TikTok.
Oh, right there.
Almost 100K. I was wondering if you had passed it, but
So
probably
excited.
give it maybe another few more days, another week. But yeah, for those that aren't following Joey, you guys probably are my audience. But on the short form content, she's just absolutely taken off. So I'm glad you're joining us here.
Yeah. Beginner investors. So no surprise, I picked up Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF. I'm a big
Classic.
advocate for passive investing, right? Especially with my audience. Number one, they're all beginner investors. So as long as you're dollar cost averaging into VFV or index funds, it's really like a no-brainer. You don't really have to use your brain for that one, and it gives you the diversity as well. And second, my audience is also, a big portion of it are Gen Zs. So time horizon, pretty good. They're doing pretty well. Next 20, 30 years, are going to be good as well. And yeah, beginner investors, they don't have to be like Daniel Cronk looking at the fundamentals and everything. So there
No
you go.
need for stock unlock.
Win-win.
So no need for stock unlock is what you're saying if you are a VFP investor. That's such
It's
a
a reverse
No,
plug.
that's not what I mean.
a reverse plug.
Daniel, stock unlock stock just went down.
Oh, poor Joey. That's not what you
Thank
meant.
Joey Yang for that.
Too cool. Well, no, that's hey, you like, yeah. We never like to say like a no-brainer in the investment world, or like you can't go wrong. But with VFV, it's like very, very,
close as
very
you
hard
can
to go
get.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's as close as they're gonna get. So I love that. I love that
Yeah.
selection.
Yeah, like people
Thank you
shouldn't
for
like lose sleep over VFV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why
That's
it's
so-
the biggest holding in my portfolio.
That's so
Yes.
true. And I think that's so cool. Yeah, like, obviously we shared stocks to buy in this video today, and a few of us mentioned stocks. Zach had a couple ETFs, Joey ETF. Hopefully that's what we're displaying. There's so many different ways to invest, and it's not saying, oh, you should be in stocks or ETF. You find what works for you. And
Yeah.
I think that's what's so cool about the space is we can all kind of show our styles, and you as the viewer can say, who do I resonate with most, or what makes the most sense for me. And
I think that was
wanna-
one of the... Oh, go ahead, Brian.
no, what's yeah,
I was
sorry.
going to say that was one of the biggest takeaways I had from the 4 venues that we did, Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, and Montreal. Every single event with the variety of panelists there, you're just reminded that there isn't one way of doing things, right? And everybody can find their niche, fit your profile, and go from there. It can be really, really simple or really, really complicated, right? Really conservative can be quite aggressive, depending on your profile.
Like
So, yeah,
Dogecoin, right?
Nah, I wasn't gonna promote it. You just shoot it up again.
Right. But no, you're exactly right there, Dad. That's a great way to summarize it. And yes, yeah, and in lieu of time, we don't want this to go on forever. Thank you guys for taking the time to come out here. I know that was probably a short segment, a short speaking, but we should definitely do more of these. And again, it was so cool to meet some of you guys just the past week. I'm missing it already, but now we are back to the grind, back in our own cities here in Canada. And for those of my audience who is not following every one of these creators, I will include links to all of them down below. So luckily search them up, quickly search them up, or do whatever you need to do. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on and graciously sharing your own trades. It's something you guys don't have to do, but I think it does make for the space. I can only imagine being like an audience member, like someone, a viewer of the channel. You have all these people sharing what they're doing. So many to pick to follow along with, right? Such a cool time.
Yeah, dude, this is really awesome. I think we should do this periodically, do it once in a while. But for those of you who are watching who aren't already on the Blossom app, I mean, these Trades are all on there. That's one of the real benefits. I've recently gotten more into using the Blossom app, and wow, especially for a beginner investor, so much knowledge out there. You can build some confidence by seeing what other people are doing. And you mentioned, when the earnings come down, people are commenting on it. It's really, really valuable. So go ahead and.
That's so true. And we're just 6 or 7 people here. There's, I think they just passed 40,000 downloads on the app. So 40,000 other people that have downloaded, checked it out, and you can learn from so many other people. So yeah, great mention there, Dan. There will be a link down below, or go to the App Store to check that out. Last but not least, one more reminder. Sorry, Jay. Yes.
I'm also going to check out Stock Unlock. I mean, I think it's a great.
Good save.
If I don't want to do my homework, definitely go to Stock Unlock. They do your homework. So it's great.
Daniel, stock just went back up.
Let's go.
Who bought the dip?
Going back the dip.
It's a good thing we have these aftermarket close, right? So it's not affecting.
Right. Too funny. Well, hey guys, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Thank you again for attending. Follow all you guys on Blossom. Follow them all on their own channels. But we'll see you guys next time.
Right, take care.
See you later. Thanks, Brandon.
Now, before we move on, are you a Canadian watching this video that wants to learn the ins and outs of DIY investing? If so, I'd highly encourage you to check out the Investing Academy. The Investing Academy is our program where we've worked with thousands of Canadians across the country, in many cases starting from complete scratch, meaning I've never actually invested before. Maybe I've had mutual funds and I don't want to pay any more high fees. Maybe I am investing, but I'm just not entirely confident in my portfolio. We can walk you through step by step the entire way, teach you our process from the foundation, the fundamentals, the terminology, investment strategy, researching stocks, the whole 9 yards. We'll be there to guide and support you the entire way. And of course, you get to learn in a fun community-like environment where you can attend our webinars, you can watch our variety of programs, you can interact and mingle with all sorts of other Canadians who are looking to take control and get in charge of their investments. If that sounds like you and you are in the market for online training to fast track your learning journey, take a moment and click the link down below and schedule a call with our team. They'd be happy to speak with you. Now back to the video.